Yo, what is up? It is Finn Steak with CB83. Hey, you already know what time it is. Coming to you for another banger. I want to shout out to the homie Shake Money who was in here first. Appreciate you coming through, my boy. You already know what time it is. We gotta go up one time for the homie Shake Money. Let's go. Yes, sir. Appreciate you coming through, Shay. We got 7 people in the building. I know people are trickling in. We will get this thing cracking. I appreciate everybody coming out. This will be a fun one. I will be taking some Q&A from the chat. I know it's been a while since you guys have heard from me. A lot going on. A lot has happened. But all is well. All is well in my world. I'm blessed. And I'm just looking forward to getting back into the swing of things. I was on the AFC East roundtable earlier with Dan Mitchell, Richie, and Kobe, just talking some AFC East stuff, talking about their teams, talking about the Miami Dolphins, and just kind of getting warmed up, and getting back into the swing of it. But yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. Shout out to the members gang, Shake Money, who's in the building. Shout out to Raph. He says, let's see what's good. Raph says, let's freaking go, Dolphins. Let's go, man. Let's go get it, man. Iceman says it's about time, bro. Hit that like button, CBA. I appreciate you, man. Shout out to the homie Iceman. He has a channel as well. Support his channel and what he's doing over there as well. Raph says the legend Shake Money, Iceman, and Finstay with CB83. Vamos is in the building. Vamos, what's cracking, man? Hey, we gotta go up, man. It's been a while since I've seen y'all. It's cool to get back into the swing of it. Let's go. Yes, sir. I know y'all miss me, man. I'm back, but we are going to take some questions. Man, look, I see y'all coming in, man. Shout out to the homie Sean from Red, White, and Bills. He says, what's good? What's good with you, Sean? What's cracking with you, big dog? Miller Hendricks is in the building. What's up, big dog? What's up, Mill? JD the Great in the building. What's up, everyone? What's up, JD? The homie Ricky in the building, my bro. We got to link up this season. No Twin Peaks. Hey, bro, no Twin Peaks for Dolphins playoff games, bro. They couldn't even get the game on. That's crazy. Nasty work. JD the Great says CB on fire all evening. Yeah, man. You saw me earlier on the AFC East roundtable talking to those guys, just talking to Miami Dolphins, man. I mean, we got so much to catch up on. Honestly, I have a lot that I haven't talked about, which is good. It just gives me more stuff to kind of talk about. These casual takes in the community. You got to love some of this stuff. I mean, this stuff will make you laugh. It'll make you cry. But you got to laugh to stop from crying. That's what you got to do. Miller Hendricks says, looking swole, my guy. Yeah, bro. You already know what time it is, bro. We be in the gym. Yo, Miami Fan Talk Show in the building. What's cracking, my boy? Shout out to the homie Miami Fan Talk Show. Glenn Paliker in the building. Glenn, what's good? Can you introduce yourself to us? We don't know who you are. Well, Glenn, my name is CB83. They call me the voice of the Miami Dolphins community. You know, a lot of people don't like me because I tend to be on the positive side, but bro, we're going to keep rocking. We're going to keep doing what we freaking do. We're going to keep doing what we do. Wolfpack can't stop us, man. The Wolfpack can't stop us. Y'all already know how we get down.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
That's what we tell them, bro. We don't worry about what they got going on. We just keep rocking, man. Shout out to Glenn in the building. I appreciate you, Glenn. I appreciate you coming through. Kelly Livingston. Somebody I've never seen before. So glad to see you. I'm glad to see you too, Kelly. What's up? What's going on with you? Miller Hendricks, he says, when is Big C coming through? I got some special guests coming through. I do. I'm going to drop the link for some special guests that are coming through tonight. All of the homies were like, "Yo, send me the link, send me the link." So, we'll probably drop the link, get some people up here, get some of the friends of the show up here, man, because it's been a while since I've talked to you guys and just kind of engaged with you, and gave you my thoughts on the Miami Dolphins and what they're doing. Man, we've had a lot that went down. I mean, the Minka trade, Jalen Ramsey gone, my Seminole gone, bro. It's so much to discuss. But before we move forward, do your boy a favor. We got 20 in the building watching right now. Even the haters, the Wolfpack, punch that like button. I know y'all in the back watching, creeping, waiting for CB to fail. It just don't happen, dog. It just don't happen. We too good with it. We just too nice. And when you too nice, it happened naturally, man. DGE in the building. Wolfpack is here. Shout out to DGE. He said the Wolfpack lives on. Hey, Wolfpack lives on. Shout out to the Wolfpack. We gotta go up for the Wolfpack one time for the one time. Yes, sir. Shout out to the Wolfpack, bro. I heard there's been some drama in the community about the Wolfpack, man. What's up with them boys, man? Them boys tripping. Hey, them boys tripping. Wayne D, he said, "Yo, we back." Wayne D, we back in the building, bro. I'm still on your head about my intro. No homo, bro. I'm still on your head. I need that. I need my intro. We working on that. Shout out to the homie Solo D too. Solo D said he was gonna stop through tonight. Let's just check out the show, get the vibes of the show. Maybe he could cook up something for me on the intro. Honestly, I'm just tired of getting copyright struck. So every time I use these cool songs like these Kodak Black and Skrilla and all of this stuff, when I use these intros, bro, I get copyright struck every time. And I'm just tired of it. So I got to find out a way to avoid some of this stuff. So that's kind of my thoughts. Ace per head in the building. Shout out to my guy, man. He said, came late, movie time with the fam. I was ordered. I get it. You got to do what you got to do. Family time is important, man. And that's partly, I mean, that's a lot of reasons why I've been absent the last 4 months is just family time. I've been traveling a lot with my son for flag football and stuff like that. I had a pool put in at the crib, so managing the construction of that, making sure things are coming in, the contractors are doing what they're supposed to be doing. That's just a lot. So that's where I've been, man. But what I'm going to do is before I kind of, and we're going to start talking about some Dolphins soon, like right away. But let me just make sure I acknowledge everyone. I think I got everyone. Hey, man, take these Gators, bro. Take the Gator stuff down, man. Come on, DG. We better than that. We better than that, bro. Tighten up. Kelly says, always love your perspective. I appreciate it. But let's do this. Guys, look, TD has this segment. And I mean, I don't steal much from TD, but I am stealing this from TD. Put some questions in the chat, and I'm going to write them down and answer the questions. Maybe it's 5, maybe it's 10, maybe it's 21 questions, right? But I want to answer some questions about the Miami Dolphins. I want to talk to you about my thoughts on the team and what they're doing. Are they going to be successful? I'm not sure, right? I mean,
I hope so.
Okay.
Yeah, I really do hope the Miami Dolphins can figure it out this season. I really do hope that. Now, do I think they have enough? Yeah, I mean, I feel like this team has enough, and we're going to get into talking about that. But before we do that, I want to answer some questions, and I want you guys to ask me some questions in the chat, okay? Manolo, what's good? He says, hello, fine people of the chat. What's good with you? But yeah, hey, go ahead, put some questions in the chat. He said, what do you think of Willie? Okay, we're going to talk about Willie. I think you're talking about Willie Gay, right? And I'm not calling nobody gay. That's his actual name. Okay. He said one time for the Seminoles. Chill, bruh. My nose coming. Don't worry. Even though we do got Norvell, he's still terrible, but it's gonna be all right. JD says, what do you think the Dolphins need to do with the secondary? Okay, secondary question. That's the second question. How crazy is that? Okay, we talk about secondary on the second question. Would you bring Wilkins back? Let's talk some Wilkins. All right, that's third. All right, we getting some good questions. I like these. Rav says, I do feel better about this year's O-line than last year. Let's talk O-line. We're going to talk O-line. That'll be a good topic to address. Irv in the building. Irv says, yo, Irv, what's cracking? We got 22 watching. Hit that like button on your way in. You already know. Subscribe to the channel, bro. You already know how we get down over here. We get down over here. We get down. All right. So Irv says, yo, so we got 4 questions so far. Are we only answering 4 tonight? Or what y'all got for me? Y'all need to speak up or forever hold your peace. You already know what time it is. X-Man. Would I bring X-Man back? Let's talk X. All right, so we're going to talk X. So we got Willie Gay, we got secondary, we got Wilkins, we got O-line, we got X. Riggy says, do you feel the right side of the line will get its act together by the beginning of the season? Okay, let's talk right side of O-line, and we'll include that in offensive line. Right side is Austin Jackson, and who else? Irv says, what is a talent? Bro, y'all tripping, bro. JR Black, what's good? Shout out to the homie JR Black. One time for the one time. Yes, sir. Shout out to the homie JR Black. Boy, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've seen y'all. It's really good, like reconnecting again. Raf says, do the Dolphins make another move before season for cornerback? Yeah, we would hope so, and we're going to talk about that too. So the cornerback season before the season, the cornerback position before the season. What do I think of the QB room? Okay, good question. What do I think of the QB room as a whole? Okay. Tyreek relationship with Tua. Tyreek / Tua bonding. What's that like? Ooh, that's a good question. That's a loaded one. Riggy says, how good you feel about actually staying healthy for the whole season? Wow. Another one. Health. Health is wealth, people. We won't win without finding a way to stay healthy this season. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 questions. I'll take a few more. Wayne D says we got to go sign at least Samuel or Douglas, in my opinion. Okay. I do like Samuel. I don't understand why we wouldn't. Reggie says Tua. You want to talk Tua? We want to talk Tua Leroy. That's what y'all want to talk Tua Leroy. You know he's still out there, man. You know the glow is still there, man. Stop playing.
All right, Leroy. Who's the one and only master? Let me go, motherfucker, let me go!
Y'all better stop playing with Tua Leroy. Honestly, let me show y'all the original clip. The original clip is fire. Y'all got to understand. I'm going to just show you a little bit. Bruce Leroy was that dude. If you haven't seen the movie, go watch the movie The Last Dragon. It's a classic karate hip-hop culture movie. Fire movie. Come on.
Let me go, motherfucker, let me go!
Come on, bro. That's a classic. Bro, I need to go watch that movie again. Before the season, bro, come on, bro. I'm having a movie night, and we're gonna get the popcorn machine cracking. We're gonna throw on that last dragon. You already know what time it is. This is a good question. Which from the 3 drafted deep tees make the most impact on the team? I wrote that one down. What do you think is the most underrated position group on the team? Ooh, most underrated group. Good question. I like that one. JD says classic throwback. Classics, bro. We talking classics for real. DGE says you don't remember that Buffalo game we reacted to CB. Hey, you already know, man. Hey, come on, bro. We had some times, man. We had a good season. We had a good run. Hey, you can't remake The Last Dragon. They're gonna mess it up. They're gonna find a way to mess it up. Honestly, I wouldn't be mad at a remake, but I just feel like they're gonna ruin it for me, bro. I feel like I like the thought of it. I just can't have them mess it up. Ace per head says, "Love The Last Dragon" clip, one of my favorite movies, brother. It's a classic. It's a classic, real classic. Wendy says, "No, let's give Tua a break. Let's talk about anybody else but Tua. There's 52 others on the team. I got you." Do you think Tua and Tyreek will set their differences aside? They have to, and we're going to talk about that. 40th anniversary. Is it the 40th anniversary of that movie? Actually, it may be, because honestly, guys, I celebrated my 40th birthday. Damn, I showed you how old I am. I celebrated my 40th birthday last month around this time. My birthday was on the 29th. So celebrated my 40th birthday. If that's the 40th anniversary to the movie, that's crazy. Eddie Murphy's Golden Child is hella good too. That's a hella classic. I can't even lie to you, bro. It's a dope movie. All right, here we go. So let's get into it right now. Here we go. We start with Willie Gay. Okay. Now I had a question about Willie Gay. Everybody's been hearing about Willie Gay in camp. He came from NO, I think, right? So he came from New Orleans. We were able to pick him up, and people are saying he's flying around at the linebacker position and making plays, which I'm excited about, right? Anybody who can come in on the defense and be a threat and make plays is gonna make my heart happy, right? Because the Miami Dolphins defensively, I feel like we've kind of struggled, and people will always talk about Tua in the offense. They'll always talk about Tyreek drops and stuff like that. But our defense hasn't been very good. And if people really want to be honest with themselves and really want to look at the team from a macro perspective, and that's stepping back and just looking at it from a holistic perspective and looking at the defense, the special teams, the offense, the clock management, the way we manage the game, turnovers, stuff like that. Like, you got to be real with ourselves. The Miami Dolphins defense has not been as good as we needed it to be, right? And the Dolphins haven't done a good job of playing complementary football. So when it comes down to it, like when we played games, we usually stunk on both sides of the ball. Really, usually wasn't one side or the other, right? We didn't have the defense carrying the offense in games, and we didn't have really the offense carrying the defensive games. We usually were either really bad or we were either like good, right? And I'm not even going to say really good, but we were good enough to win the game on both sides of the ball. I'm happy with guys like Willie Gay who come in and make plays, okay? I'm excited about guys who come in on the defensive side and kind of set the tone, right? Because that's what we need, and that's why I really like the Minka trade. And honestly, you guys didn't put Minka on here, but I'm going to add Minka on here because I want to talk about Minka a little bit. So excited about Willie Gay, excited about guys who come in and just – and people have been talking about this culture stuff a lot, right? And players are a big part of culture, right? They're a big part of the culture. But I do think coaches kind of set the tone for culture, and players will do what you allow them to get away with, right? So that's my thoughts on it. And I feel like Mike McDaniel has to bring good guys in that are good kind of tone setters, good culture guys that can police the locker room, right? And can kind of set the tone themselves. Now, Mike McDaniel still has to do some of that as well. Assistant coaches, position coaches assist with that. But guys like Willie Gay, who just come in, ball out, and really set the tone for their position groups, will help the Miami Dolphins kind of, you know, exceed expectations, right? Because that's my thing, right? Everybody is expected to come in and do a job, right? But are you coming in and exceeding expectations of, um, what you've been paid, right? Because that's really what it comes down to in the NFL too. Like, are you outplaying your contract? The Miami Dolphins want a bunch of players who are outplaying their contract, right? It doesn't always work in your favor because you do end up having to pay those guys. But for one season, you need as many of those guys as you could get, because it's just going to help your team become a much better football team. So that's why guys like Willie Gay are important to the Miami Dolphins' success, is that you need some diamond in the roughs. You need those guys. And if he can come in and be a player right away and exceed expectations for what they thought he was going to be, then it's going to help the Miami Dolphins win. And I'm all for that. All for it. So that's question one. We got that one out the way. Willie Gay. I like it. Secondary. Here we go. Secondary. Now, big blow to the Miami Dolphins today. Kader Kohou is out for the season with a season-ending knee injury. They said it was a partially torn ACL. And guys, I've been keeping up with the Dolphins as much as I can. So that's why, I try to stay abreast with what's going on in regards to, training camp and stuff like that. I try to keep up. But Kader Kohou out for the season. We were already slim in the secondary. That's a big blow because Kader, whether he was inside or outside, he was going to be a starter and get starter reps and get a lot of movement. So it's a blow. Now the Miami Dolphins have guys back there. Cam Smith, Storm Duck, some of these other guys, like they gotta step up and start, playing football, right? And honestly, I don't want to take away from development of those guys, but if they aren't ready, they just aren't ready. And if they aren't ready, maybe they, don't need to be Miami Dolphins moving forward. But we do need to find alternatives, right? And bringing in cornerbacks and stuff like that, that's it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of when and who. I think Asante Samuel, if he's anywhere near capable of playing anytime soon, I would definitely take a flyer on him. Gilmore is still available. I would take a flyer on him. He's a veteran. He could bring some leadership to the room. And I think that's what kind of worries me the most about the cornerback group, is that they don't have that leadership in the group, right? They don't have that savvy vet who's been around and can teach them how to be a pro. And they've had guys like that around them, but I don't think some of the guys we had were the best leaders. Like, I don't feel like Jalen Ramsey was the best leader. Now Jalen Ramsey a dog. Like, and I hear Omar Kelly call guys like Jalen Ramsey mercenaries, right? They just come in, do their job, go home, and you know what they are, right? They're contract killers. They're just out here to help you win a few games, but they're not good culture guys. They don't help you outside of that. So that's part of the thing I think that bothers me about this group, is that there's just a lack of leadership. And I think that's going to be necessary in that unit for those guys to play well. For sure. G says, how much are you going to pay for cornerback? When it comes down to paying guys, I'm around like, 3-4 mil, like long as they're getting under 6-7 a year. I mean, because it depends on the cornerback. It depends on what they can give us, right? But when you bring in guys like that off the street, you're usually paying them like 1-year prove-it deals. And that's what I'm cool with. I'm cool with giving guys a 1-year prove-it and saying, hey, let's figure it out. Let's see if you still got a little bit in the tank. So secondary wise, I feel like the Dolphins aren't in great shape, but I feel like every team has holes somewhere, right? And right now, the Dolphins' holes is in the secondary. That's one of them for sure. And we know where it is. We know it's glaring. We know the Miami Dolphins need to address it. And typically, Greer is really good about this. Like, y'all can hate on Greer all y'all want to, but Greer does a really good job of filling holes, right? No homo. No homo. Jeez. He does a really good job of filling holes, especially when it comes to like, glaring needs, right? Now, you know, I think Greer is come at the mercy sometimes of McDaniel and his philosophy. And I do think that Greer has kind of referred to um, Mike McDaniel a little too much in the past. And I think that's where he's got to step up as a GM and be like, nah, bro, I know you said you don't need this, but I'm going to get it for you anyway because I don't want to hear your mouth down the line. And that's sometimes what you got to do, right? Like I have kids, right? And they may be like, oh, daddy, I don't need that. Nah, I'm going to get this anyway because I know you're going to need it. And then when you do need it, you're going to be like, daddy, I need this. And I'm not going to have it. So I'd rather just do it anyways so I don't have to hear your mouth down the line. And I don't want to hear your excuses about how you couldn't get the job done because you didn't have it. Right. So that's kind of my thoughts on the cornerback position is that, hey, Mike McDaniel, defensive coordinator may say, hey, no, we're good. We'll figure it out. Greer needs to step in and say, no, you're not good. You need this. I'm going to get it for you because we need to win games and our jobs are on the line type shit. So that's kind of the approach there. So that's the secondary. We knocked that one out. 27 minutes in. We're almost 30 minutes in. We got about 30 people watching. Punch that like button. I appreciate you guys coming through. We're going to do these more often. You already know what time it is. JR Black says, yo, CB Go knows we might have a QB. Ooh, I'm excited. I'm excited. Oh, shout out to the homie, the members gang, William Perry in the building. Gotta go up for the homie one time for the one time. Yes, sir. Shout out to the homie William Perry. Says my daughter haven't seen you in a bit. Hey, I know. What's good with you? Shout out to the homie William Perry in the building. Love it. I love it. I love it. We the best. We the best in the nation.
I'm the best in the nation. I'm supposed to be number one right now.
Right now. Best in the nation. Shout out to the homie William Perry. Okay. So we talked about Willie Gay. We talked about secondary. We are on to Christian Wilkins. Guys, I heard about the Christian Wilkins situation. Bro, I love hearing all of this stuff. This is, well, so Christian Wilkins supposedly had a situation where he has filed a grievance against the Las Vegas Raiders. They're saying he basically didn't rehab properly. He was cut from the team. They are not going to pay him. And people are asking, will there be a Wilkins reunion of some sort? And that's a good question. Honestly, that's something. The Christian Wilkins reunion is something I wouldn't mind. Okay. And I say this, and I wouldn't mind it if he came at the right price, right? This is what you got to understand. It's got to be the right price. If it's not the right price, it's not for us, right? It's just not for us. And I'm sure Wilkins is looking back on that situation like, hey, I went and got paid. I got my bag. But I'm not sure he had the best experience in Las Vegas. And I'm sure he kind of looks back on it like, man, I should have stayed in Miami and took lesser money. So I'm not sure if that's the case, but I think, I don't mind a Wilkins reunion. If Wilkins said, hey, I'll come back and give you, a little deal, I'd be all for it. I think he's a good player. I'm not sure that Wilkins wants to be here after we didn't give them the money. I'm not sure if the Miami Dolphins want Wilkins here after how it went down, because it did kind of go down like, Like, somebody feelings might have got hurt. So I'm not sure that's the case, but I wouldn't mind the reunion. I wouldn't shun it as long as it's for the right price. Everything for the right price. And shout out to the homie, Mr. Polk. He says CB83 blowing up YouTube, bro. I appreciate you coming through. You already know. I appreciate all y'all support, man. I appreciate y'all love coming through, showing love. So yeah, I appreciate you, man. Y'all the ones. That's y'all are why I do it. You're why I do it. Okay, so we talked about Wilkins. Now the next segment is the O-line segment. Now y'all know I'm an O-line guy. Y'all know I love trench play. Y'all know I coached offensive line, played offensive line, all of that, right? So when it comes to the offensive line, first of all, we've only been in paths for 2 or 3 days. And honestly, this is what I want y'all to understand about offensive line. Offensive lines are usually behind when it comes to training camp. So the defensive line is usually ahead and the offensive line is usually trying to catch up. But once they catch up, things start evening out and the offensive line starts getting wins. So early on, when they put on the pads, defense is just firing off the ball. What you got to understand about defense is they just line up in gaps and play aggressive. Okay. Offensive line, there's much more to it. You got to communicate, you got to work in cohesion, you're working double teams, you're working climbing to the next level, you're working screens and getting in space, you're working there's a lot, right? Defenses are just read and react. So I expect the defensive line to be ahead. I expect the defensive line to win early in camp. And I expect the offensive line to kind of get going as they get into the first and second week of camp, right? I expect the offensive line to kind of catch up. So I think we'll start to see some wins. Now, where I'm not satisfied with the offensive line, I think we still do need some depth, right? And when I say depth, I'm talking like swing tackles, another solid guard, and somebody I feel comfortable with backing up the center position. So and that's where I'm at. Maybe it's 2 guys, maybe it's 3 guys. We still have to go through cuts and stuff like that. So maybe there are some possibilities to be able to pick up some guys, off the waiver once people get cut and stuff like that. Ace per head says these joint practices will tell us a lot, and they will. And that's what I do like about the joint practices. They get a chance to see our guys versus other human beings that are fighting for roster spots, and you get to watch the film. I think that's the most important thing for coaches is being able to review how guys play, because it's super hard. What I want y'all to understand, it's super hard for coaches to look at practice and be like, yeah, it was a good practice or it was a bad practice. I mean, you can look at body language and stuff like that, attitude, effort, and say, it was a good practice or it was a bad practice. But in order to really evaluate practice the right way, you got to be able to watch the film and break it down and see what guys are doing, right? Because that's how you know if guys are learning. Because they have these film sessions, they go out there, they practice, then they come inside, they may lift, and they watch it, right? You're watching practice. Hey, what did you do well? What did you do poorly? And then what do we need to correct for tomorrow, right? And then you come out the next day and you see if that guy corrected it, right? And you can't see that just by looking at their play, but you see it by watching the film of how they did it the next day. So typically that's how it works. And you're just evaluating guys and seeing if they get better day after day. And that's really what camp is about. It's like stacking really good days, right? You won't be perfect. You're going to get beat. There's going to be reps where you get beat. Everybody understands that. But you really want to stack good days and just progress. And that's what you want to see from the offensive line. You want the offensive line to just kind of get better gradually over time. Okay. Get better gradually over time. Irv says, CB, do you think they make a move after Kohu injury news, starting cornerback via trade or free agency? Honestly, I think I wouldn't mind a trading a draft pick or something like that, next year's draft pick for like a top-notch corner. I wouldn't mind that. right? I think the Miami Dolphins are in a position to win. And, there's a lot of people that have been saying, the Dolphins are tanking. So, like, I just laugh. And, I just call them casuals because they are casuals. And they obviously don't see the vision that the Miami Dolphins have for themselves. So, I wouldn't mind a trade for a cornerback. I don't want to trade many players because we don't have much that we can move. So I'm not cool with trading players, but I'm cool with definitely trading some draft capital to get some better cornerback play. CBD3, what about the center spot? Do we have depth there? Eh, I don't know. I feel like you can never have too much depth at center, but you have Liam Eichenberg who can come in a pinch and play center. I think you have another guy too who can play center. I don't know his name, but I'm sure they have a backup center, and I've heard of him too. And then they got the Borum kid who's like a swing tackle. So they've got some options. I just don't think they have like really good options. The good thing is I've heard that, and we're still on offensive line, so I can talk about this. I've heard that Patrick Paul is doing really well. He's looking like he's going to be a starting caliber tackle, which is really good. I heard Austin Jackson is kind of, still trying to get into a rhythm of it. But like I said, guys, it's still early in camp. So I expect some of this to be the case, right? I expect some of the offensive line to be struggling early on because it's early. It's just early in camp, and that's usually how it works. Irv says Larry Bourne will be a good swing guard. They haven't practiced at right tackle and left tackle. Brunskill has been up and down. Ryan Hayes is struggling. Yeah, and some of these backup guys are going to struggle. They are. Our backup offensive linemen have been really, but I think offensive line in the league play, I think offensive line is down overall. So I think there's just a shortage of really good offensive linemen out there. So, we could talk about this all we want to about how they struggle and stuff like that. But, bro, like there's not many options out there. So we have to take that into consideration as well as far as the O-line goes. Right now, I heard Jonah is playing well, which was great to hear. I saw that Brewer was out today. But Jonah's going to help us. Right. And I went down to the San Fran game, and it was my pop's 70th birthday. We were celebrating, his birthday, went to the Miami game, hung out. It was a good time. But I was down there. I got a chance to go on the field. I talked with Coach Stugsville, who is the running backs coach for the Miami Dolphins. And, we were just having some conversations, and he was just like, yeah, it's just difficult. Your guards have to be very aggressive up front in order for you to run the ball well. And at the time, we were struggling at the guard positions. And, I was telling him, yeah, I feel like your guards are essential because they're the kind of moving parts in terms of like that interior. And you got to get some push on the interior in order for your offensive line to really like shine in the run game. And you got to be able to pull, and you got to be able to wrap. You got to be able to pull and trap. Like these are all things that are essential to a really good running game. And we just didn't have good guard play at the time. And that's why we were struggling, because we didn't have good guard play. So hopefully James Daniels, Jonah are just much better than we had last year. And that's what the hope is. And they can stay healthy. And then it just makes for better play overall, whether it's pass pro, whether it's run game. The essential part of this offense is being able to run the football at will, right? Short yardage, third and long. Like you got to be able to run the ball. Second and short, third and short. These are all great opportunities to pick up yardage. And that's what you got to understand about the playbook offensively, is that there's so many options when you can run the ball and get 4, 5, 6 yards, right? A play, right? So, we look at 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, like, oh, these are passing downs, but sometimes these can be run downs if your running game is good enough. And that's where the offensive versatility comes into play, because it just makes your offense so much more deadly when you can spread it out and do different things, right? It just makes it so much easier for you. So offensive line is going to be key for the offense. Key to making sure that the offense is successful. Super, super successful. Now that was some good O-line talk. We were on that for a while, man. Now, X, man, this is gonna be short and sweet. X, man, people are saying the Miami Dolphins, since the Kohu thing, people are saying the Miami Dolphins should go get X. And before I get on this topic, please do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Feel free to donate to the channel and support the channel. We will be growing. There's a lot we're doing. AFC East Roundtable, Miami Dolphins Roundtable. I'll be a guest on a few shows. I'm going to have Ace Per Head on. I'm going to have Pete's Takes on, my boy Pete. So we're going to do a lot. I got a lot of stuff coming up. But be sure to support the channel, like, subscribe, share, do all of that good stuff, man. I appreciate y'all. And that was the break. That was the commercial break right there. All right. So X-Man. All right. So X is out there. I don't know if X has been working out or what. I'm sure he has. He's an NFL player. He's 1 or 2 years removed. Wendy says no Peter CB. Come on, bro. I got to get my dog on. So X has been I don't know if X has been working out or what, but people are saying to bring back X. And I heard Omar Kelly talk about X. I know he's a big X advocate. I just think the ship has sailed on X. I think it's sailed, right? And I'm not saying his career is over. I just feel like for us to bring him back as the Miami Dolphins, I feel like that's kind of taking a step in the wrong direction. That's just hiring another Jalen Ramsey, mercenary type, who doesn't give you a lot from a culture perspective. I feel like the Miami Dolphins culture is very sensitive right now. And I don't think Mike McDaniel can risk bringing, problem childs into his locker room at this point. So that's kind of my thought there. And I don't think that X is a problem child. I just don't think at this point in his career he wants to be like told what to do, and he wants to be on time all the time, and he wants to be in meetings and doing all this stuff, right? Because it does take a lot. That's what y'all want. I want y'all to understand. Football is a hell of a commitment, especially at the NFL level. It's a lot of work, right? And people think it's all fun and games. Oh, we're out there playing football, bro. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of time spent at the facility. That's why they get paid millions of dollars. It's not just because they're tremendous athletes. It's because, bro, it's a lot of time put in. During the season, they're traveling away from their families. They rarely see their families. It's a lot. So I'm not sure if X wants them problems right now, right? I know a lot of NFL vets, right? I was actually hanging with an NFL vet this past weekend. His son plays on my son's team. They play together. His name is Marcus Golden, and he plays for the Arizona Cardinals, right? Edge rusher. Was a dog, had a really good career, right? And he just talked about how at this point in his life, he just want to be dad, man, because he had missed so many years, right? And I think that's where a lot of these players are. Even a guy like Jalen Ramsey, he's like, bro, it's the off season. Like, I gotta be dad. Like, I got young kids that I just want to be around for, because they won't be young kids for long, right? So you're looking at, your 7, 8, 9-year-old child, and they're growing super fast. Like, these kids grow fast. So I think these players realize that, and they want to be around their families. Like, they want to be around their kids, excess kids, right? So I'm not sure if that's where he wants to be right now. So you got to consider that as well. People can say, oh, bring him back. X may be like, man, I don't want that life anymore, right? Because it's a lot of commitment, especially when the team is expected to win, and the coach is like, I need guys to be here. I need you to be on time. I need us doing things the right way, bro. It can become a lot. So I'm just not sure if X is in the right mindset to be a Miami Dolphin, and I'm not sure the Miami Dolphins want to cross that bridge again. So I say no to X. I say no. But who am I? Who am I? Right side of the offensive line, we kind of talked about that. We have addressed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions. So the right side of the offensive line, we're talking about James Daniels and Austin Jackson. I heard Austin Jackson's got to pick it up. And we've kind of talked about this a little earlier, but Austin Jackson's got to figure it out, get into a groove. He's coming off an injury too. So it's definitely going to take him a little bit longer to get used to being in pads and getting guys moving again. When guys are coming off injury, it just takes a little while, bro. And you got to give them some patience and some grace because it just takes them a little while to get back into the groove of it. Like, there's nothing like playing football at a high level. It's very hard to do if you haven't done it for a while. And that's why I look at guys like Jalen Phillips and Chubb and like, bro, we need y'all to get going right away, but we also don't want to rush you because we understand that, bro, you coming off, season-ending injuries, and we need you. We need you to be there. We need you there for the whole season. So it's going to be tough, but Austin Jackson will figure it out, and that right side will be fine. I think Austin Jackson and James Daniels is a good combo, and I think Jonah and Patrick Paul are a good duo. With Brewer in the middle, I think we should have a solid offensive line. I just think the main thing is staying healthy, bro. We just lack the ability to stay healthy, and that's kind of our main thing. Now, I think this was Shake Money ask about this question. Quarterback room. How do I feel about the quarterback room in full? I mean, I like it, right? And I really don't care for talking about the quarterback position that much. Just because I know it all comes down to Tua staying healthy. Like, Tua's gotta be healthy. And if Tua's not healthy and he can't protect himself and he can't stay on the field, then the Miami Dolphins aren't winning games, right? We just aren't going to win games because it's not possible. That's what I'm gonna say. It's just not possible. So Tua's got to find a way to stay on the field. Quinn Ewers, I do like, what I'm seeing from him. I think he's we'll see in preseason, but I think he's gonna give us, a good alternative to Tua if he's not available. But Zach Wilson, Zach Wilson. I think he's a solid quarterback as well. I think our quarterback room as a whole is better than we had last year. Now that's not saying much because they didn't really perform that well. To be honest with you, they didn't. But I do like this quarterback room better than last year's room because I feel like Zach Wilson has quality NFL starts, quality NFL time, and I felt like the guys we had last year didn't have that, didn't have it at all. And I do like the fact we got a young rookie who was one of the top ranked players coming out of high school and who was highly coveted at Texas. So we'll see. Maybe Mike McDaniels turns him into a player. Maybe. Can he challenge Tua for a spot? Maybe.
I hope so.
Yo, what y'all gotta realize is that I'm all for pushing guys. I'm all for competition and making guys better. So I'm cool with whatever y'all. I know people say I'm a Tua lover, Tua near, Tua whatever. That's my guy. But if Tua ain't getting it done, shit, we need somebody to get it done. That's the nature of the game. For me, I want the Miami Dolphins to be successful. Frozen Fin, what's good, my guy? He says, important question, CB. If there was one player on the team that pours their milk before pouring their cereal, who would it be? This is a good question to kind of mix it up. If there was one player on the team that pours the milk before pouring the cereal, you know who it would be? It's a good question. Good question. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna say Liam Eichenberg. I'm gonna say Liam Eichenberg because I feel like Liam Eichenberg is kind of like that weird, quirky guy who can't get right, and somebody in the locker room sees him pouring his milk before he pours his cereal, and they're like, Liam, what the hell are you doing, Liam? And then the guy goes and tells everybody in the locker room, like, Liam pours his bro, Liam, you do what? Bro, that's why you can't get blocks, bro. You pour your milk before you pour your cereal. Do it the other way around, silly. Then maybe you can start blocking dudes and blowing dudes off the ball, bro. I think that would be the conversation. Like somebody sees Liam in the cafeteria, like pouring his milk before he pours his cereal, and then like, bro, you do that? Like, nah, I gotta go tell everybody. And then they go tell everybody. And then Liam is so embarrassed, right? That he starts pouring his cereal before he pours his milk. Now he's doing it the right way. And then like, oh, it starts clicking. Like now he's a better player because he's changed the way he's poured his milk. Come on, bro. I think that would be exactly how that played out. That's how I see it. I think that's the way to go, bro. That's my call on it. All right. So we talked about the QB. So we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 questions in. Tyreek and Tua's bond. And this is a good topic because this is actually kind of two topics in one because we had the conversations about Tyreek walking off the field and Tua got involved and he said something in this presser about how Tyreek needed to be better. So this is a good question, right? Now, this is what y'all got to understand about working relationships, right? They don't have to be best buds, right? I wasn't best buds with everybody on my football team. I wasn't best buds with all the coaches on my coaching staff. There were guys I didn't care for. But when it comes down to it, you have to respect one another and you have to be willing to communicate and have conversations and make it work, right? So I think if players are shying away from that and not talking and not having conversations, I think that's a problem, right? And I think that's a culture thing. And I think Mike McDaniel has a lot to do with that, right? There shouldn't be any of that. And honestly, as a head coach, as a leader of men, if you see that, you need to be like, yo, y'all got to tighten that up. I'll put the both of y'all in the room and y'all got to figure it out. Y'all got to have the conversation about it. So, Tyreek and Tua and Mike McDaniel should be addressing this and they should be having conversations about it because that's really what makes for a good football team and good football culture, right? So the hope is that Mike McDaniel is facilitating good relationships in the locker room and it's helping guys be able to talk openly about their issues with one another, addressing concerns, forgiving and then moving on, bro, because that's what football is, right? Everybody's not going to care for each other. Humans have bad days. So there's a lot going on, but you still need to be willing to communicate, have conversations. And I think that's where Tua and Tyreek are. And I think they're good, right? And people were mad that Tua came out and said, Tua basically came out and echoed Tyreek's sentiments in regards to, hey, I need to be better. I wouldn't vote me as a captain. I need to regain the trust of the locker room. I need to do this. I need to do that. All Tua came out and said, hey, Tyreek needs to do this. He doesn't need to be this. He doesn't he needs to build back up trust, stuff like that, bro. That's all he said. All he said was the exact things that Tyreek said, the week before or whatever, right? That's fair. And people will say, oh, well, Tua has no reason to call out Tyreek. Bro, Tua can call out whoever he wants to call out. All of these guys can call out whoever they want to call out. Now, you just got to be ready to back it up when it's your turn, right? Because Tyreek could easily come out and say, hey, Tua needs to be available. He needs to protect himself. Like, that's what we need to do in order to win games. Be a man about it. Take it. Own it. He's right. Yeah, he's right. I got to be better. Like, I got to be available. I got to stay available for my team. That's it. right? And when reporters ask questions, you got to give answers. You can't be like, well, I mean, he could have been like, well, we addressed that already. It's water under the bridge and, we'll figure it out internally. He could have said that. But, Tua is not that type of guy who's going to beat around the bush when it comes to like questions like that. Especially if he has an opportunity to just kind of tell him about the relationship and tell him like, what Tyreek is working towards. I mean, I don't feel like it was a bad thing. Some people came out and was like, "Oh, Tua shouldn't have done that. Who is he to throw rocks from a glass house?" Like, bro, come on, man. And if Tyreek came out and said, "Bro, Tua needs," if somebody asked Tua or asked Tyreek about Tua's health, and he was like, "Nah, bro, don't shy away from it. We need Tua healthy. Tua knows we need him healthy on the field. He sees what happened when he's out of games." Like, bro, what we talking about? Like, let's not beat around the bush. Like, honestly, that's some of the weakest stuff to me is the people who beat around the bush and aren't willing to have like the real conversations and be honest with themselves. I feel like that's just corny. And yeah, I feel like that's corny. Like, as a human, grown men, you guys should be having conversations like that. So the Tyreek Tua thing, I think that'll be all right. That's just the nature of the game, button heads on certain topics. And that'll be fine. That'll be fine. That'll be fine. Gotta get my agua. All right, here we go. So dang, we're down. I think we're down to the final five. Yeah, five. All right, so health. Bro, health is wealth. The Miami Dolphins need to find a way to stay healthy. It's 11 o'clock, guys. So the Miami Dolphins need to find a way to stay healthy. There's no other way to put it, bro. And I think Mike McDaniel is a big part of this. And I think he's I'm not gonna say a big part of the problem, but I do think he contributes to some of this. Like, I feel like the way he babies guys and like babies injuries, and I feel like it's just too much. I think it's over the top. So I feel like Mike McDaniel needs to have guys play through some of the hurt, right? Because there's a difference, and I say this all the time. There's a difference between being injured and being hurt. I tell my son this all the time too. Injured, you can't play, right? If you continue to play, you're gonna get hurt again. You're gonna hurt something else because you're compensating for something else. But if you're just hurting, there's a lot of guys who are hurting in the NFL after practice, because you get banged up, you get bumps and bruises and stuff like that. Mike McDaniel has to kind of force guys to play through hurt because it makes them tougher. Like, being tough is a part of football. In order to be a good football player, you have to be tough. You have to tough through some stuff, right? So Mike McDaniel, I need him to kind of have force guys to work through some of this small stuff. Cam Smith got some soft tissue stuff going on, bro. You got to work through it. Let's go. Let's push through. Get your treatment. Come in, get your treatment. Now, if you're injured, come in, get your treatment, get on the bike and do stuff like that. But bro, if you're hurting, you gotta get yourself back ready to get back on the practice field. We are trying to get ready for a season. We can't have you on the sideline the entire training camp. That's not helping us. So Mike McDaniel has to force some guys to play through some of the hurting stuff, right? The hurting stuff you gotta play through. Now, if you're injured, you gotta sit on the sideline. You gotta do your rehab. You gotta get your ice, your heat. You got to do stuff like that. You got to rehab. You got to work your way back. But if you hurting, you got bumps, bruises, you banged up, little aches, bro, you got to play. So that's where I am in regards to that. And the health is going to be very important for this team. I don't think you stay healthy by preserving players. I don't think you stay healthy by putting guys in bubbles. I just don't think it can happen. I think guys really need to put pressure on their bodies because when it comes to the game, those are high pressure situations. And in order to get yourself ready for high pressure situations, you have to put your body in high pressure situations. And I think Mike McDaniel has to bang these guys a little bit more, be a little bit more aggressive, get a little bit more physical in practice, because it's going to translate to games, right? Whatever you do well in practice, you'll do well in the games. Whatever you do poorly in practice, you do poorly in the game. This shit isn't rocket science. That's what I want y'all to understand. This isn't rocket science. Bro, you need to be banging in practice because it's going to make it easier for you in the game. Game should come somewhat easy. Now, I know it's going to be some high pressure situations. There's going to be some adversity. But bro, this is not stuff you can't handle. It's still football. It's still a game. But you got to put yourself in those pressure situations in practice. Practice has got to be intense. You got to be getting after it. It's got to be some shit talking, maybe a little bit of fighting. That's part of it. That's how football works. And some people can't handle that aspect of it, but that's the nature of it. It's a gladiator sport. Cats get after it. And there's gonna get, when you banging on guys, and not banging on guys, but no homo, but when you're going back and forth and you're hitting the same guy for 10 days and 7-8 days, bro, it gets exhausting. But it's getting you ready for the battle, right? Because that's what it comes down to, right? The season is a battle. It's a long battle. And you want to ultimately win the war, and that's the Super Bowl. So that's going to be important for those guys to really just not – McDaniel's got to take the health seriously, but you also got to force some guys to play through and just be physical, bro. Like, we can't be babying dudes. Like, we grown men out here, bro. Grown men. Get after it, bro. Get after it. And I'm hoping I can go down to camp this weekend and check some of the practices out, see what those guys are doing. So that's going to be the plan. Hey, shout out to the homie Q684 becomes a YouTube member. I appreciate you, Q. We got to go one time for the homie, one time for the one time. Yes, sir. I appreciate you, Q. That still works. That still works. You can still become a member, man. He says, been a minute, Miles. Much love, Q. I appreciate you, bro. Q the homie for show. What's good, Miles? So shout out to the homie Q becoming a member. Shout out to the members gang. I appreciate y'all. So that's health, right? And now we back to good old Tua. Shout out to my dog. And man, Q, you right on time. We talking about Tua real quick, man. I got 30 in the building. Do your boy a favor, smash that like button. I don't think I'll be able to get anybody on tonight, but guys, it's coming. Don't even worry, bro. It's coming. This is gonna be fun. This will be a great season for content creators and streaming, because the Miami Dolphins might go to the promised land. Do the Miami Dolphins get to the chip?
I hope so.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope so. But yeah, we'll see, man. I'm excited. I'm excited about where we are as an organization. I know people are kind of off the bandwagon a little bit, like, this team ain't gonna do that. They ain't gonna let me down again. But I'm excited about where we are. I know it doesn't look the best, right? It doesn't look like the Miami Dolphins are going to be like world beaters, but I think the team will be really competitive. And I think adding pieces like Minka, Willie Gays of the world, getting some of your guys back that were instrumental to your team's success that were hurt, like Jalen Phillips, Chubb, still getting another year in the offense with Tua, Tyreek, A-Chan, getting Jalen right, getting some new offensive linemen, James Day. I think it's gonna work in our favor. I do. And I'm excited about it. anybody telling you not to be excited, I think they're on the wrong mind. I think they're of the wrong mindset. But that's just my thoughts. That's what do I know? What does CB know? But yeah, what was a seasoned apple? What's good? These trenches on both sides is why we be good this year and Tua healthy. Yes. Tua healthy is gonna be big time. That's gonna be a must. And trenches is big. It's a big part of the game. Brad Boss 818 says CB is the Larry June of the Miami Dolphins fan base. Okay, Larry June. I rock with Larry June. He good vibes. He got some good music, little West Coast vibes. All right, so Tua, let's talk about Tua a little bit. Now, y'all know I'm a Tua fan. Call me a Tua stan, but Tua got to stay healthy, bro. That's all I'm saying. Like Tua's got to be healthy, and if Tua can't find a way to stay healthy this year, the Miami Dolphins might have to cut ties and like look in a different direction. Because as much as I love Tua, if you're gonna miss 4 or 5 games each season, bro, it's just not feasible. Who's doing that? Who's missing 4 or 5 games each season back to back to back? I just, bro, it just doesn't happen in the NFL, and you can't continue to like rock with a guy who is missing like that. You just can't do it, dog. You can't rock with a guy like that. So that's my concern, is that Tua just has to find a way to stay healthy and protect himself. Now I understand he's going to take hits. He's got to get hit. But bro, go Brady, go fetal position, go Peyton Manning, go fetal position, go Drew Brees, go fetal position. Protect yourself and get to the next play. All right, we don't need you to play Superman, superhero, and run into guys because it's 4th down or something like that, bro. Just live to see another play. Live to see another play, right? That's going to be the motto, bro. Not live to see another day, live to see another play. Just protect yourself, bro. That's what it's about. So that's my thoughts on Tua. Y'all know Tua. I think Tua's a great, I don't say really good quarterback. I'm not gonna say great yet. I think Tua's a really good quarterback when he can stay healthy, right? And when he's healthy, he's good, right? The kid can play. I've seen Tua make some incredible throws through windows, deep throws. I've seen him make a lot of throws on the field where I was impressed. But that shit does you no good if he isn't on the field, bro. It just isn't doing you any good. Wayne D says, just slide to a T, please, because you can ball out when healthy. Exactly. Dude can ball. He can play. Now, we drafted 3 D tackles, and the question was, which one has the biggest impact? That's a good question. It's easy for me to say not Jordan Phillips, but it's easy for me to say Kenneth Grant because he was the first round guy. But I'm going to say Jordan Phillips. I think Jordan Phillips will surprise some people. And I think he's had a really good training, and I think he's a really good player coming out of college. So, bro, look out for Jordan Phillips. I actually know, his position trainer here in Orlando. Adam Jones, and his dad played in the league. He was a really good player coming out of high school. We played against each other, but bro, Jordan Phillips is going to be a solid player for us. And I think he may have the biggest impact of the rookie D tackles. And I'm already hearing good stuff out of camp about him too. So already hearing some good stuff, making some plays. I hear Kenneth Grant is making some plays too. But I think he's at a position where he could be more impactful than a Kenneth Grant, because Kenneth Grant's kind of in the middle, stuffing nose tackle. But Jordan Phillips is, a little bit further out, gives him a little bit more freedom to go rush the passer and stuff like that. So I say Jordan Phillips. I know y'all wasn't expecting that, but that's it. So So two more questions, and we're done for the night. Most underrated group. Ooh. Most underrated group on the Miami Dolphins team. This is a good one. This is a good one. If I was to say a most underrated group, and I'm looking at position groups, I'm gonna say, oh, y'all not gonna like my answer here. You aren't gonna like my answer here. I'm gonna say the offensive line. I think right now people are sleeping on the offensive line. I think the additions of James Daniel and Jonah, and if everybody can stay healthy, I think this group could take a huge leap. And I say that, with a grain of salt, because we haven't been finding a way to stay healthy. But I think the most underrated group could be the offensive line, because I feel like they have some potential to really like take a big leap. And I think people, are expecting them to be okay, but I think they have the ability to jump into that top 12 range, right? Maybe jump into the top 10, because we have some really good running backs. And with Tua throwing the ball and showing his versatility throwing the ball, it could work in our favor. It really could. Because Tua does open up the run game, and then the run game will open up Tua as well. So yeah, I'm excited about it. I think the O line could be the most underrated group. I know y'all wasn't expecting that. Gotcha. And the last one I wanted to talk about is Minka. So the Minka edition. And I'm excited. Honestly, Minka was one of my favorite Dolphins coming out of Alabama. I have a Minka jersey in the closet. I bought it as soon as he got drafted. He was a dog coming out of Alabama. Just clean cut, got it done, not too flashy, just really good at his job and what he did. And honestly, if I was probably talking to my son about like what type of player I'd want him to be, I would be like, yo, like be a player like Minka, bro. He comes to work, hard hat, lunch pail, gets it done, is a leader of men, and just comes to play. Every opportunity, he's gonna try to make a play. He just wants his team to be successful. And he said he said he matured a lot, right? And I think when he was here with Flores coming in as a rookie, I think he struggled with that maturity aspect and doing what coaches ask him to do. But I think that's changed, and I think he's a better player because of it. So I like the Minka trade. I like that we got him back. I loved hearing him speak about his journey in the NFL thus far. When he did his interview, and he said, "Hey, I didn't speak on it just because I wasn't, ready to talk about it, but it had nothing to do with the Miami Dolphins being seen in a negative light." So, I mean, I appreciate that, and I think Minka's going to be a dog for us, and I like what he brings leadership wise. He's a leader of men, and that's what we need on this team. He's a culture guy. He doesn't let guys get away with doing the bullshit. So I think those are the type of guys we need in the locker room. And I think that's going to make our defense that much better. That much better. So, man, I appreciate everybody coming through and asking questions and being engaged with me. I see we still got about 30 people watching. Wayne D still in here. Q still in here. Shout out to my dog Q for becoming a member. He says Weaver needs to help Minka find his groove. Yeah, and I think he will. And he says Minka benefited from our pass rush. Yeah, and I think Minka will benefit now from our pass rush. Irv says Minka looks rejuvenated after he got traded from Pittsburgh to Miami. He looks revitalized in practice. That's what's up. We got to talk about practice. I'll be down there hopefully this weekend. Take a look at the Miami Dolphins, see what they got going on. I'm excited to get down there in the heat and just kind of see, what practice is like, see what the speed is like. Watch Trench play and see what those guys are doing. So I'm excited, man. But guys, that is it for tonight. I will be back. Today is Wednesday. So the plan is for me to go down Friday to Miami, go to practice on Saturday. So if I go to practice on Saturday and I'm able to kind of get some information for you guys, I'll probably come back Saturday or Friday night before camp and just kind of talk about some things I want to see or things that I've seen from practice. I'll probably link up with TD at some point, and we'll do a show. Please be sure to subscribe to AFC East Roundtable. Be sure to subscribe to Roundtable Sports. Be sure to subscribe to everybody out there doing great work in the community. The Dolphins Collective, which is a good show I'm watching. Ace Per Head is a show I'm watching. Iceman is a show that I'm watching. The Blitz Pickup is a show that I'm watching. Like, I watch everybody. Even the corny people who have casual takes, I watch everybody. I'm always watching TD, Doug. I'm watching Poopar. I'm watching Omar. All of those guys. Pete's takes. I gotta give a shout out to Pete. Pete runs these 8-hour streams that are just full of nonsense, but it's good entertainment. Good entertainment for sure. But yeah, man, I appreciate everybody coming through. CB stopped watching Peter. No, I rock with Pete, man. I rock with Pete. Now, the little jit he has on there, the little crazy dude, I don't rock with him, but that's for another day. But I appreciate y'all coming through and checking me out. This was fun. How often y'all think I should go live? 2 times a week, 3 times a week? What's your thoughts? Put it in the chat. Once a week. What y'all want to see me? Once a week, twice a week, or 3 times a week? Put it in the chat. 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3. And I got to figure out a schedule. I'm trying to, and that's what I want to work on too, is figuring out like a consistent schedule where I go maybe Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, something like that. And we'll figure it out. I mean, I'm excited about getting back into the swing of things with the season. I'm excited about the Miami Dolphins. I just like football season. Great time, fantasy football, college football. It's fun. I mean, I've heard a lot of casual takes in the offseason. I'm just tired of the casual takes. I just want football to come so we can actually have something to talk about. Q says twice a week. I like it. Herb says True Talk was so annoying. Man, what True Talk at? True Talk be lying his ass off. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all. Shout out to everybody in the community. Doing great stuff, doing great work. You guys have kept me entertained, for the past 4 months. So I've been still engaged. I've been still watching people. Still in the chat, trolling and doing what I do. So I'm not really trolling. I'm just smart and I just know football. So I just call people out on bad takes. That's all I do. It's nothing crazy. I'm just smart. I know football. I know more football than a lot of people. So I take it serious. So that's me. But yeah, I appreciate you, Irv. Later. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate Q coming through. Q becoming a member. Wayne D, Irv, Raf. All the homies came through. I had a lot of homies come through. Shake Money. Glenn came through. I appreciate you, Glenn. Who else came through? Ace Per Head was in here. Frozen Fan in the building. Who else? JD the Great, Mr. Polk, H. Good to see H. Yeah, man, I appreciate everybody coming through, bro. That's love. And we'll keep it funky, man. We'll do some shows. We'll have some fun. Hey, if you want to hear something in particular, like a certain topic, hit me up on X. or hit me up on IG, Finn State with CB83. But y'all already know what it is, man. I appreciate y'all. Y'all know how we get down. No, you know how we get down. Let's go. Yes, sir, man. I appreciate y'all. It's Finn State with CB83. Check me out. You'll see me soon. AFC's Roundtable, Miami Dolphins Roundtable, Big C. Be sure to check out Big C. Subscribe to him if you haven't already. Finn Posse Podcast, Dolphins Collective, all of that stuff. All that stuff is good. The Dive Bar Pod, shout out to those guys over there. Everybody's doing good stuff. Frozen Finn Fan, he's doing a good job. Ace per head. Everybody's putting in work, man. I see y'all. I appreciate everybody. You already know what it is. Fins up. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. I'm gone. Holla at your boy. Peace.